Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to our session. Theme of the session, Green Transition, from Research to Practice. A session on exploring opportunities for a more efficient and climate-friendly approach to farming, livestock productivity and biogas production. So I would like to invite to the stage Mr. Jürgen Eivind Olesen, Professor, Aarhus University, Professor in Climate and Agriculture at Aarhus University and Head of Department of Agroecology, please. Dr. Agata Fabiszewska, Warsaw University of Life Sciences. Dr. Fabiszewska, a biotechnology graduate from Warsaw University of Life Sciences, holds a PhD in food technology and nutrition. Welcome. Ms. Louise Helmer, CEO Viking Genetics. Louise Helmer comes to Viking Genetics from a position as an independent consultant within strategy, ESG and development at Halt and Lie. Louise has over 15 years of top-level management experience in the agriculture and food industry. Ms. Christine Brockner, Senior Manager, DLG Group, Willowfoss. Ms. Bruckner serves as Senior Manager of Animal Nutrition at DLG Group. She is a board member at Freepart AS, a design and innovation consultancy since September 2020. Ms. Katarzyna Kozicka, PhD candidate, Warsaw University of Life Sciences. Katarzyna Kozicka, a PhD candidate, specializes in global methane emissions from agriculture. And Mr. Marek Lingby-Zandberg is the first Vice President of EFO and has been working for EFO for more than 16 years. He has previous experience as a business development specialist at Sampassion. First of all, thank you very much for coming. We are very thankful. In this panel, we have prepared two questions for each panelist. As first, Mr. Jürgen Eivind Olesen. How can the need to reduce agriculture environmental impact be reconciled with the need to feed more people?
We are facing really big challenges because agriculture is by far the most impacting environment and to some extent also climate. We also need to see that besides supporting the human population with food, in the future our land and agriculture also needs to support with energy and biomaterials and much more as well. So we need to make much more efficient production cycles that support all sorts of production chains in a much more environmentally friendly and climate friendly way. This requires new technologies and we need the research, of course, to develop and underpin those technologies, and we need the partnerships with industry and farming and others to implement these in a practical sense and of course also in a cost-effective way. This is a massive challenge.
Thank you very much. Second question, what is the approach in Denmark to support a more environmentally and climate-friendly food production?
I would say there are two aspects of this. One is that we need to have much more accurate accounting of the impacts that we have. And this is not a small task actually, because if we look at the current way we account or inventory emissions and so on, it's relatively crude. So if we want to apply those accounting methodologies at the farm scale, it becomes difficult actually for farmers to implement this. So we need to come up with much smarter ways of measuring and accounting emissions. And at the same time, we also need, of course, to develop the technologies that underpin this, and also to put those into an accounting context. So this is what we're trying to do in Denmark, and we have upscaled, I would say, both the research, but also the research, public-private partnership aspects of this.
Professor, thank you for your answers. And now I'd like to ask Dr. Agata Fabiszewska. First question, what implementation potential do we see for our scientific activities, and who do we see among potential recipients for our researchers?
Thank you for this question. I think that a great potential lies in microorganisms. Progress in such scientific disciplines like agricultural biotechnology and microbiology can be helpful, can be useful for individual farmers, for specialized business companies, as well as each household too. Let me introduce you two examples related to my scientific activities and reflecting to this concept. First example, protein and oil which are derived from microbial cultures. They are new, valuable, alternative feedstocks. They can be very useful. There is one disadvantage, high production cost, but it can be overcome when we will use waste and industrial byproducts in culture medium. So this approach stands in line with circular economy principles, as well as provides upcycling of agri-food and industrial waste. Second example, connected to environmentally friendly agriculture, searching and selecting new microorganisms gives a potential for us to design novel preparations for ensiling. Silages of high quality and safety can be used in animal feeding, and also they can be used as a substrate in biogas production. So coming to the end of my answer, I want to underline that on Earth there is about 1 trillion of different species of microorganisms, and it is estimated that we have identified between 1 to 10%. So the potential is still not explored, and still we also need to prevent the diversity of microbiome on our Earth for sustainability of our planet, and also for future progress of our different technologies.
Thank you very much. And second very important question, what challenges still face the world of science in the context of green transformation in agriculture?
I think that one of the most important questions and challenges is how... Oh, sorry. It's working, okay, thank you. I think the greatest challenge is to figure out how we can easily transfer the knowledge from science to business. So this transfer is of course possible, and of course it can be very helpful in green transition agriculture, but it requires high financial support, it requires mutual understanding between science and business, and also it needs a constant adaptation of legislative regulations. So the challenge is to create an effective platform by which each sustainable technology can be easily transferred from the laboratory to the market, and this transfer needs participation of scientists, business representatives, also policymakers, economists and sociologists.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to ask to speak Ms. Lucy Helmer, CEO of Viking Genetics. How do we see Viking Genetics' strength then driving research and exploring opportunities for the future of cattle genetics?
Yes, first of all I will say I think that our strength in Viking Genetics is balancing on a long history and a culture very fundamental in the Scandinavian, and that is trust. Trust between farmers has for many, many years resolved or done that we can pick up data at a very high level and very high quality, sharing knowledge between farmers. That vast amount of data that we now have for many, many years makes it possible for us to drive forward when we find research projects worth looking for. For instance, right now, looking into new projects of feed efficiency and methane. With all that history and data that we already have, we can start to build together. And also second, the trust between research institutions, farmers, and a lot of other private, public partnerships has actually had the focus of having these networks and driving projects across farms, all the way from farm to fork, if you look into the industry as well. And that makes it possible for Viking Genetics to find that specific genetics for the Nordic farmers at everyday level.
Thank you very much. And second question, what project does Viking Genetics have as top priority?
Right now, our top priority is our safe feed system. It's a 3D camera system where we on everyday basis, as the first in the world, actually can measure what the individual cow eat. With that knowledge, we can then go on and find out at the same time, you can say, what is her weight. We have a camera detecting also the back of the cow. So the same way as we have face recognition on our phones, we have back recognition camera, so can identify every single cow in a herd, even with 1,000 animals, and then detect at the feeding table how much she is eating. And that knowledge, we have not finished the project yet, it's still undergoing, but now though we can start to put weight on feed efficiency into our index, both looking into the climate discussion, it's an important issue, and also because the feed is a very, very high resource cost for the farmers. So to both get a reduction and better economy for the farmer, and at the same time actually focusing on this climate issue, makes this top priority. Methane will come on top on that on some of the farms, and is definitely important and driving very fast right now. But our safe feed index, where we both have efficiency for the farmer and the climate, that's top priority.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to ask to speak Ms. Christine Bruckner. How does Vilofos contribute to the development of sustainable solutions for agriculture?
Thank you. Yeah, first of all, I'd like to present that DLG is a group. We have embarked on a journey where we're working with new feed ingredients. So, for instance, we work with black soldier fly worms, which we are turning into a high-quality protein feed. But we're also getting oils and fat from this production. And once we're up and in full scale, we're producing 100 tons protein per day. So that is a significant amount to a new and sustainable protein source for feed. We also have factories producing high-quality protein from grass, so refining grass and turning that into a high-quality and local produced protein source for animals. And so that's more on the feed side, but in more long-term and more significant impact are our feed additive production, where we are looking at, right now it's named Compound X. It's a feed additive that reduces methane emission from cows. And that is, of course, our most impactful research project going on at the moment. And besides that, so that has an impact directly on the more biological processes and mechanism in the cow. But we also very much right now having feed additives that we're constantly improving with the purpose of improving feed efficiency, health of the animals, so that they stay longer and in production and high producing animals.
Thank you very much. And what concrete readings can Wildfoss offer right now?
So what products?
What concrete readings can Wildfoss offer right now?
So we have our right now. It is in commercial available with our feed additives targeting these high producing animals. So keeping milk fever as a topic that is pronounced, and then again, of course, our high quality feed. So constantly improving on our processing technologies to meet the genetics that we're getting from our colleagues here. So the animals have the genetic potential to be high producing. We need to deliver the feed and the supplements to actually get the high yielding animals.
Thank you very much for your answer. And now I have also two questions to Katarzyna Kozicka. Question number one, how has agriculture improved in Poland in past years, and how has this affected greenhouse gas emissions?
Yes, so after joining the EU in 2004, Polish agriculture has been dynamically developing. For example, the average milk yield improved, and it was mostly driven by the investments in high quality feed and also barn modernizations. On the other hand, livestock population has been decreasing, and especially in the head of hogs and dairy cattle. And it was mostly driven by national and EU policies and market prices. So if it goes to the GHG emissions, for example, methane emissions from Poland has been slightly increasing since the accession to the EU. So despite the developing agriculture in Poland, the emissions don't have a very high increasing trend. So that's why because of many factors influencing the emissions, studies and observations are very important. Studies on factors, on trends are very important in mitigation.
Thank you. And what are the mitigation strategies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and what are the opportunities for researchers?
Yes, so a few of the examples can be first the studies of nutrient management, of course, and crop rotation, or in livestock management. For example, researchers can focus on improvement of the different feed alternatives, and also can work on the impact of different diets on methane emissions. Also, they can provide new technologies on manure management, and of course, capturing and utilization of methane from manure for energy production. And also, like me, analytical studies, so on existing data and or satellite data. So in my opinion, researchers have a wide range of opportunities to contribute on mitigation, GHG mitigation from agriculture. For example, by improving the innovation of technologies, and also optimizing the existing practices, and also by, for example, providing study-based guidance for farmers or policymakers.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, Marek Lingbe-Zandberg. First question, what requirements does EFO make for Danish economic interest when they participate in financing?
Thank you very much for the question. First of all, a short introduction. I'm representing the Denmark's Export and Investment Fund, and this basically means that our mandate is to finance Polish corporates or institutions when or if they are investing in technology or services coming from Danish corporates. On the other hand, we can also finance Danish corporates if they are doing investments in Poland. Could I have the question one more time, please? I forgot the question.
What requirements does EFO make for Danish economic interest when they participate in financing?
Yes, absolutely. The topic here is very much value chain and the green transition, scope 3 and all these kind of things. And our mandate is more broad, so we are looking in a more holistic way to Danish economic interest. This basically means that if there is an offtake agreement between a Danish company and a Polish company, then we can also finance the investments done in Poland. That is one thing. Another thing that is very important is that the Danish economic interest is here in Poland. The requirement is 20%, so we can leverage on that one to make the financing most attractive for the borrowers.
Okay, please tell me what difference does EFO's participation in financing make?
Because we are owned by the Danish state, this means that when we are participating in the financing, then there will be a AAA rated financing. So this basically means that I have to say that we are working together with the international banks. So very often they are providing the funding, and then we are coming in with the state guarantee. So this basically means that the risk of the lending bank goes from the project itself to the Kingdom of Denmark being a AAA rated country. So this is the most important difference. You can also say that the borrowers, they will have a kind of diversified funding program, and we can go up to tenors of up to 22 years. So it's a stable long-term finance from the Danish state. And this is really something that makes a difference.
Thank you very much. That was the last question. Thank you very much for your participation in our panel session. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your point of view. Thank you very much.